Every journey toward personal achievement, growth, or mastery begins with a spark. For many, that spark is motivation, a sudden rush of inspiration, a bold idea, or a fleeting vision of what could be. In those moments, we feel unstoppable, energized by the possibility of change. But as anyone who has set out to transform their lives knows, motivation is unpredictable. It can vanish as quickly as it came, leaving us stranded in the gap between our dreams and our actions. This is where discipline steps in, not as a replacement for motivation, but as its steadfast guardian. Discipline is often misunderstood. It's not about denying yourself joy, nor is it a rigid adherence to rules for their own sake. Rather, discipline is the practice of doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. It's the quiet force that keeps you moving forward on days when motivation is nowhere to be found. Where motivation is emotional and fleeting, discipline is deliberate and enduring. Imagine waking up on a cold, grey morning, your bed warm and inviting the world outside unwelcoming. Motivation might urge you to rise. Perhaps you've seen an inspiring video, or you remember your goals from last night. But if that motivation doesn't show up, what happens? This is the crossroads where discipline becomes vital. Discipline whispers, get up anyway. It's built on the understanding that progress is made not in grand gestures, but in the small, consistent actions taken every day, regardless of how you feel. The difference between those who achieve their goals and those who don't often comes down to discipline. Consider the athlete training for a marathon, the student studying for an exam, or the entrepreneur building a business from scratch. Each faces setbacks, boredom, fatigue, and self-doubt. Their initial motivation may have brought them to the starting line, but it is discipline that carries them through the miles, the chapters, and the endless hours of work. They have learned to show up time and again because they understand that the road to excellence is paved with repeated effort. Discipline is not something you either have or don't have. It is a skill that can be cultivated, strengthened, and refined over time. It begins with small commitments, making your bed each morning, setting aside time to read, finishing tasks even when you'd rather quit. Each act of discipline builds your confidence and your capacity to handle greater challenges. Over time, these small wins compound, creating a foundation of trust in yourself. You start to understand that you are capable of following through, no matter how you feel in the moment. One of the keys to building discipline is understanding your why. Motivation often comes from external sources, an inspiring story, a vision of success, or the approval of others. Discipline, on the other hand, is anchored in something deeper. It is rooted in your values, your purpose, and your commitment to yourself. When you are clear about why you want to achieve something, discipline becomes less about forcing yourself to act and more about honoring your deepest intentions. Another important aspect of discipline is creating systems and routines that support your goals. Willpower is a finite resource. It can be depleted by stress, fatigue, and decision fatigue. By designing your environment to make discipline easier, you reduce the need for constant self-control. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Prepare healthy meals in advance. Set reminders for important tasks. Each of these small actions makes it easier to follow through, even when your motivation wanes. Discipline also means embracing discomfort. Growth and achievement rarely come without struggle. The disciplined person learns to tolerate discomfort, to push through resistance, and to keep going when things get hard. This is not about punishing yourself or ignoring your needs. It's about recognizing that discomfort is often the price of progress. Whether you're learning a new skill, building healthy habits, or pursuing a long-term goal, there will be moments when you want to quit. Discipline helps you stay the course, reminding you that the pain of discipline is far less than the pain of regret. It's important to be compassionate with yourself on this journey. Discipline is not about perfection. You will have days when you fall short, when you skip a workout, procrastinate on a task, or give in to temptation. The key is not to dwell on these moments, but to get back on track as quickly as possible. Discipline is about consistency, not perfection. It's about showing up over and over, even after setbacks. Each time you return to your path, You reinforce your commitment and strengthen your discipline. Over time, something remarkable happens. What once required tremendous effort and willpower becomes second nature. The disciplined actions you once had to force yourself to take become habits, automatic, ingrained, and effortless. This is the true power of discipline. It transforms your behavior, your mindset, and ultimately, your life. While motivation can be a powerful catalyst, it is discipline that sustains you on the long, winding road to success. When motivation fades, and it inevitably will, discipline is the force that keeps you moving forward. It is the quiet, unwavering commitment to your goals, grounded in your values and strengthened by daily practice. Through discipline, you learn that you are not at the mercy of your moods or circumstances. You become the architect of your life, capable of achieving more than you ever thought possible. So, the next time you find yourself waiting for motivation to strike, remember, you don't need to feel inspired to take action. You only need to take the next step, no matter how small. Each step builds your discipline, and each act of discipline brings you closer to the person you want to become. In the end, it is discipline, not motivation, that shapes your destiny.